Hello, my name is Charlie Smith and I'm going to give you a 3-minute video on the film The Shining. In this video I'll explain the symbolism and the semiotics from the movie. First off, what is semiotics and symbolism? Well, symbolism is the art of hiding meaning behind something apparently non-related. And semiotics, the study of signs and symbols, the relations between written or spoken signs and their reference in the physical world or the world of ideas. Now, what is The Shining about? So a man called Jack Torrance becomes winter caretaker isolated overlook hotel in Colorado, hoping to cure his writer's block. He settles alongside with his wife Wendy and his son Danny, who is played by psychic premonitions. As Jack's writing goes on nowhere and Danny's visions become more disturbing, Jack discovers the dark and begins to unravel into a homicidal maniac hell-bent on terrorising his family. The release date was on the 7th of November 1980, and the story behind it came from the man everyone knows, Stephen King, who's a very dark, mysterious man. Now, let's talk about the symbolism and the semiotics. First, I'll be talking about symbolism, which shows up within this movie. One of the most iconic scenes within this movie is when the blood rushes out the elevator. This shot is known as the River of Blood. First off, it is meant to represent the doorway of life. Going up means you go to heaven, but going down means you go into hell. However, this isn't the deeper meaning. The blood that comes out the elevator represents life and how the body becomes weaker because it's losing blood. However, there is so much of it, it engulfs us. The reason I say this is because we are down in the low down shot to symbolise that we almost are kind of like bound to the blood that surrounds us. In the end, it plunges us into darkness, with cutscenes with Danny terrified. The scene represents how after life we have the fear of nothing but the void. But what interests us as an audience members is that we fear what happens after death because we don't know what happens or where we go. Overall, the symbolism of this scene is life and death. The next scene I'll talk about is the bar scene, as Jack enters the Gold Room ballroom. Jack says he'll sell his soul for booze, and out of nowhere a figure in red appears, as does alcohol on the bar shelves that were previously bare. The man who appears talks to Jack like an old friend and also wears red, which symbolises the devil. Afterwards, when Wendy is saying she wants to take Danny to the hospital because of his visions, Jack gets defensive, raving about his duties to employees in the contract, which sounds more like a deal with the devil than like the actual employment contract. The bartender in the end, who urges Jack to continue trying to kill his family after being locked in the pantry by Wendy. Now I'll talk about the semiotics within this movie. Now the first one is Jack's typewriter. Seen as the symbol of the Holocaust, ruthless, and the idea of the mechanical coldness. Jack takes something usually personal, inmate, and emotional like writing fiction instead of copies the same sentence. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, over and over again, like a machine. This suggests the meaningless born out of repetition, but it can also suggest the cruelty of the Holocaust. The typewriter even changes midway through the film, becoming darker, and it is also a German-made typewriter both times. Red, black and white are colours that show up a lot in the overlook, especially around Jack, perhaps being used as a Nazi symbolism. Now again, I'm going to go back to the barman within this movie. As I already referenced, the barman speaks to Jack and tells him to kill his family. This shows the man is evil, and because he is wearing red, which symbolises devil in the film, which in turn possesses Jack through speech and not physical. So appearance is the same, but how the mind works becomes different. So within the movie, they create the meaning of possession without any physical changes. The last one of semiotics I'm going to talk about, Wendy refers it to as a maze, as a references to cartoon nursery rhymes appear again. Danny is spoken of as lost, looking for his parents who have toured the hotel and forgotten him in the games room. As Jack states, "Did you get tired of the bomb in the universe?" signifying Danny's representation of American aggression and the great Enlightenment experiment that sits upon a giant Indian burial ground. Kubrick was very much a critic of Americanism and is a foreign policy, and seeing films like Doctor Strangelove, where mutually of the Cold War destruction and the Rand Corporation are lampooned. Thank you for listening.